Hi guys, it's Kelly and I'm back with another video. So this card is using the new release from Pretty Pink Posh. This is Cupcake Critters. They are totally adorable. Peanut made a card with this set for his friends, and then I made a rainbow shaker card for you today. I haven't made a shaker card in a really long time, and I was just in the mood to kind of play around, so that's what we're doing. Got a lot of things to cover today, but that's okay because it's a super long video. So basically the gist of the Distress Oxide, I'm starting with, what is it, Abandoned Coral? Pretty sure it's Abandoned Coral. And then just moving through the rainbow toward the left-hand side. I will tell you guys, I always go over mine twice because I feel like that gives me a better blend. And also when I'm doing the like strips of color, you can see how they're smaller than the entire width of the mini round part. I'm kind of holding it on its side to make the stripes smaller, and then I always go back over it with the color I used previously to help blend it. And like I will go all the way out to the purple, and then from the purple all the way back out to the red. So that's what we're doing there. Some things to discuss. First of all, I said that I would be back soon with a video, and then the lie detector test determined that that was a lie because I just got caught up in life. I mean, that's pretty much just it. I started editing this video, and then it sat on my computer for 2 days half edited. So my apologies there. Sometimes it just happens. Oh, there was a very nice lady. We're going to talk about commenting today. That's one of the things that I want to discuss with you guys. So don't let me, we'll come back to that. I promise you we'll come back to that. I was going to say don't let me forget that, but you're going to listen to this after I do this, and then if I have forgotten, what are we going to do about it? Right? British people. Ooh, yeah, people in my UK. So we had talked about a couple of videos ago about affiliate links and how that works, and a lot of you in the UK said that you would really love to use the links, but that the shipping is astronomical. And I live in the US, so that's not something that I ever really have to. I don't typically buy from overseas. I try to purchase from companies who make things here in the US. But I had received an invitation from Craft Stash, which is a UK-based store. But since I don't ever shop in the UK, I'm not sure if that's a place that you guys frequently shop at or would like to shop at. I don't want to sign up for an affiliate or lead you guys to a place where maybe they don't have great customer service or something like that. And so I would like to know, is that some place you would like me to sign up for an affiliate with? Because if you will shop there, then I will do that. I will be happy to do that, but I don't know anything personally about the company. So please let me know in the comments below. I would like, if you guys would like to help me out with the affiliates, I would like to help you out by being affiliated with people you'd actually like to buy from. Make sense? Okay. So back to this card, I just flicked on a little bit of clean water just to kind of break up that oxide. The whole fun of the oxides is the way that they react with water. And then I also used a little bit of the Hero Arts shimmer spray and just kind of spattered that on as well. I still have not found my perfect pearls. I still have not gone to the store to buy more, so that's why you have not been seeing them. Stamping down all 4 of the large images that are in this set to kind of, you know, build up this little birthday party that I'm going to be coloring. Lots of coloring. That's why the video is so long. Coloring just takes a long time. Other things that I wanted to get out of the way. I'm trying to think if there is anything. So we're just going to go right into the commenting. I watch YouTube videos just like you guys watch YouTube videos, okay? I have people that I enjoy watching their videos, that they do super cool techniques or coloring, or some of them are just my friends and I want to support them. And they're also really talented and I like to learn things. I think everybody should always still be learning. That's why I do the videos on my channel, because I want to teach people things. So if there isn't there's something you don't know how to do and you can come here and learn it, that's great. But then I also go to other resources and learn things. So one of the things that I noticed in the last, it was probably 2 weeks ago. There was this comment that I saw on a friend of mine's YouTube video. Now, it was not on her channel. It was on a business's channel. And this woman basically just completely obliterated her on YouTube. And I was so I was so just angry and sad. Both of those things. You guys know that I do a youth group if you follow my channel. We recently talked to our youth group about social media and how social media made them feel. And that's a whole other topic. But one of the things that we talked about, the exercise that we did, was we had them write down the meanest thing anybody ever said to them. They wrote down the meanest thing anybody ever said to them. They did it anonymously. We put them into cups. Then we had them write something nice about everybody in youth group, whether it was another kid that was participating in youth group or one of the adults, myself, Eric, who runs the unit that runs youth group, whatever it was, we had them write down something nice. And then Eric and I read the mean ones out loud, and they were mean, guys. They were bad. And I think most people, if you say to somebody, what's the meanest thing somebody has ever said to you, they have an answer for it. There's something that immediately comes to mind. And then, so we read them out loud, and you could just see like the total mood of the room changed about how just sad and hurtful these things were, and people carry them around. Then we talked about how when you leave a comment online, whether it's on Facebook or Instagram or YouTube, there's a person. It's not, it might be anonymous for you, as in they don't know who you are, but on the other end of that is not a computer, is not some mythical being. There's a person on the other end of that who's receiving your comment. And if it is a mean comment, I promise you it makes an impact, because I have received mean comments and I remember them. I remember the good ones too, but I remember the mean ones. And it makes me very sad that there are people out there who don't realize the impact that words have. Words mean things, guys. They mean things. So if you're going to somebody's channel, and even if you're having a bad day, or you disagree with something that they're doing, if you word it in such a malicious way, it's making an impact on that other person, and you could potentially be really hurting somebody's feelings. Because a lot of creators, okay, so YouTube, I hate the word influencers. It aggravates me to know I'm not trying to influence you to do anything except learn and better yourself. Other than that, I'm not trying to influence you to purchase things or to have a style that isn't your own or whatever. I want you to be a happy, good person who learns things. That's what I want for you. But so when we read them out loud at the end of the youth group, I told the kids, be somebody who makes people feel like this, like the good thoughts, the good things that people have to say, and not somebody who makes people feel the mean things. And so when I saw this comment on my friend's YouTube channel, I was very upset. And it took everything in me not to make a comment back, because I literally had nothing nice to say. And I had to bite my tongue, because it wouldn't have been helpful, or appropriate. And then the person who runs that business ended up deleting the comment, which was good. It was very good, because a lot of people had a lot of very strong opinions about it. But the woman's point in the YouTube comment was that these quote unquote YouTube influencers are telling people what they must have. And they're trying to coerce people into purchasing things that they don't need, and all of these things. Now, I love you guys. I love that you follow me. I love the relationship that we have, and how we can share and make these connections, because, 30 years ago, the internet certainly wasn't what it is now. And having that connection and being able to make friends. I have friends who live in Australia, and I have friends who live in Canada, and just everywhere. And I have those friends and I have those connections because of crafting and the internet. So I'm very grateful that I have been able to foster these relationships with these people who understand me and that I can be friends with. Anyway, back to the whole point at hand. Her point was that we're all out here, all of us people making YouTube videos are just out here trying to just talk you into things that you don't want to do. And my response to that would have been, take some responsibility. You're an adult. Nobody is making you do this hobby, and nobody is making you purchase things. One of the big things is that I work with a lot of different companies, and I am very, very blessed to do that and very, very grateful for it. But that sometimes means that when they have new releases, it's showcasing a product. And I'm not trying to sell it to you. I'm trying to show you what's out there and what you can do with it. Because this type of hobby isn't, where you can go to Target and kind of browse the shelves and see what's out there. That's not the way that it works. But by no means do I want you to make yourself destitute or take food out of your kid's mouth to buy stamps. And then I thought, okay, Kelly, everybody has a bad day. I certainly am not always a ray of sunshine. So maybe this woman is just having a bad day. And so then it was like 2 days later, I was on a different friend's YouTube channel, and the same woman with the same commentary. And she was making comments like these people should be ashamed of themselves for what they're charging and, the way that they're pushing this product and blah, 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 blah. That would be like me going into McDonald's and ordering a coffee and then yelling at the 16-year-old girl who's working after school that McDonald's is overcharging for their coffee. It's lunacy. And it's making other people feel bad for something that they literally have no control over. They don't set the price point for these items. And if you find an item that I'm using, if you have something that is a substitute for it, that is cheaper, that you found the thing that I am using cheaper, for the love, tell me. Tell other people so that they can know that there's another option out there. Because we don't all use the same things. We don't all watch the same people. And, maybe you found something that other people haven't found yet. And that's amazing. And please share that information because it is an expensive hobby. I'm not swimming in all of this just free product. I'm a consumer just like you're a consumer. And I'm cheap. I'm so cheap. So anyway, so I saw these two things and I was very, very frustrated with the way that this person was just putting, this blame out on people. And then I was going through my own YouTube comments. And there was one, and I read every YouTube comment. I've told you guys that in the past. If you're new here, I read every single one of them. And the little heart that appears on it is because I put it there, and I would love to reply to every single one of you guys and tell you thank you so much for your support. But the reality of the situation is I have 3 jobs, and that doesn't include being a single mom. So, I just don't have the time. But when you guys ask a question, I try to respond to it in a timely fashion. And so I was going through and reading the comments, and there was a comment on there, and it had 15 replies. Now, when that happens, sometimes it's something negative. Somebody has said something that another person disagrees with, and then we're off to the races with everybody having a comment. That is rare. More often, it is what it was this time, which was this woman who's a follower of mine, and I'm not going to put her name out there or whatever, but she said that her word for 2019 was healthy because she had been fighting cancer. And those 15 replies were you guys telling her you would pray for her and telling her that she was strong and that she was in your thoughts. And, for some people who were, maybe a little bit less religious and maybe more spiritual, that they were sending light her way, and they were sending happy thoughts and good vibes and all of these things. And I know it's not all bad. It's not all these people who are negative, that there are those of you who are out there who are, making your comments and using the internet's ability to touch people near and far for the greater good. And I am so grateful for that this person could come to my channel and find what I already know, which is that crafters are some of the best people, the kindest, the most well-intentioned people that you will ever meet. And so thank you. Thank you for putting out a little bit of positivity versus negativity, because there's a lot of negativity out there, and it's very frustrating sometimes when you're doing this, and the process of doing a video is very time consuming, because not only are you making the card, which may take, I don't know, for me it probably varies between an hour and a half and 2 hours, and then once I've made the card, I have to photograph it, I have to upload those photos, edit them, upload the video, edit that, do the voiceover, link all of the product, type up a blog post, type up a YouTube description, upload the thing. So it's a, it could be a 5, 6, 7-hour process, which for most of us is what we're working in a regular work day. So it is very time consuming, and it can be very disheartening for those of us who are putting all of this time, effort, energy into trying to give back, to give something away. I don't believe that I am the most talented person on the face of the planet, not by any means, but I do believe that God gives you a skill set, and whatever that skill set is, I want to be able to stand in front of him one day and say, I used everything he gave me to the best of my ability in the most positive way to give back to others. I used everything that you gave me. And so for me, being able to do YouTube and to teach people, or to, hold classes and teach people, or even teach at the college, like that's just something I feel like God made me for. And I want to embrace that and share that as much as I possibly can. So, yeah, it was just kind of like a little bit of a bummer to read that, because my friend really, really had her feelings hurt by the comment that was made. So anywho, we're not even talking about the coloring. I'm just off on this rant, up on my soapbox like a crazy person. So sorry it's not a more lighthearted discussion, but I am grateful for those of you who are doing what you can to make the world a better place. And if you are one of those people who has left negative comments in the past because you think that there's some autonomy there, there's a person on the other end of that. Please stop doing that. Like, please stop making people feel bad for the things that they're trying to accomplish. Worry about your business. If you feel like somebody is pushing things on you or trying to sell things to you, stop following them. It's pretty much that simple. Like, you just stop. Like, I have certain people or companies or whatever that I choose not to be associated with, because I don't necessarily like the way that they run their business, or they treat their customers, or they treat their designers, or whatever. And that's my personal experience with them, or that's experience of people who are close to me. And yeah, so I just don't. But I'm not out here bashing them. People figure it out for themselves. I don't need to spread negativity. You're intelligent people. I mean, you'll be able to figure it out on your own. You don't need me to tell you. So anyway, back to this card. All of the coloring is done. I hope most of it was self-explanatory. If you have a specific question about something I colored, please let me know, because I realized that I didn't discuss any of it. But I did want to trim these out so I could put them like in front of the shaker. So I fussy cut them out. Hey, look, I found my marker. So you guys can stop feeling like the marker is screaming at you. And I'm just going around. You want to use a water-based marker, not an alcohol marker, to do this, because it will bleed into your images and ruin them, and then everybody will be sad. For the actual card, I kind of laid everything out to get the placement for the sentiment. And then I put that in my Misty and then stamped that in just black ink. It was really very difficult for me not to glue some sort of rhinestones around it because I kind of just felt like it was out there floating by itself. But because it's a shaker, I was very, very nervous about doing that because I didn't want some of the sequins to like catch on the glue. So the second piece of rainbow cardstock that I did, I trimmed into a frame. I just used a paper trimmer to do it. And then I also cut a piece of acetate. Now I used extra just like stamp packaging that I was getting rid of for my acetate, but you certainly can purchase it if maybe some people leave all of their stamps in their packages. They don't necessarily put them, categorized or whatever, or you're like me and you just leave them lying all over the place like a crazy person. But so there is acetate you can purchase if you would like to. I also tucked this one little bunny in between the acetate and the frame, just for kind of like a little bit of a different look. So all of them weren't sitting right up front. And then once I had that in place at the bottom, like cardstock glued to cardstock, I went ahead and put a little bit of glue so that it would stick to the acetate part of it. In order to make a shaker, there's a bunch of different ways you can do it. This was the first way that I learned. It's always worked for me. So this is the way that I do them. I'm doing 2 layers of foam tape. The thing is, you want to make sure all of your foam tape is touching. If there's any gaps in your foam tape, your filler or sequins or beads or whatever will fall out. And so you can see that bottom left-hand corner, there's kind of a big gap there. And I was really uncomfortable with it. I was worried that my stuff was just going to go sliding out the side. So I will fix that with round 2. I'm going to put the top layer a little bit farther over and then tuck another piece underneath it so that it is all corner to corner and I don't have to worry about any of the sequins or gems falling out. And then I'm just going to do layer number 2. You can see how small my big roll has gotten. I really need to order more foam tape. I just keep forgetting because, well, I forget a lot of things, honestly. I get caught up doing a bunch of other things. Even so the song that's playing on this video there's like no, it's royalty free. So you don't have to give any kind of credit or anything. And I got it off YouTube. And then when I was listening to it, it sounded very, very much like Let My Love Open the Door by Pete Townsend. And that's in like a slew of 80s movies. And then probably like a bunch of other romantic comedies that I have watched over the years. And so I kept hearing it in my head. And I was like, what movie was that in? I cannot remember what movie was that in. And then I ended up down this proverbial rabbit hole of trying to figure out where I had heard this song. And I was also surprised it was by Pete Townsend. Honestly, I didn't know that. He's the lead singer of The Who, for those who don't know. And it just seemed very much not his style, but a very, very catchy tune. And then, so once I like Googled it and started looking into it, it's in a lot of movies. The one I think I know it from is, I think it's Grosse Pointe Blank. I think that's the one that I was thinking of it from. But it's in a bunch of other, like Along Came Polly. And basically, if it's an Adam Sandler or Ben Stiller film, pretty much that song's in it. Like, that's what I learned. But yeah, so I get sidetracked by things very easily, and then I never order foam tape, basically, is the moral of that story. So here I've put all the filler in the middle, and then put the frame, peeled off all the sticky parts, put the frame on top of it so it becomes a shaker. Just want to make sure not to overfill them or they won't shake right. I almost wish I had put more filler in because the square is so open. But I think it just doesn't look very full because I put the little characters in front of it and you can't see it kind of all built up. It's difficult to see that. And then I just adhere the rest of the characters just with Tombow multi-glue right on top there to finish off the shaker. I love to have all things sparkly, so I use some Stardust Stickles to go over top, like some just like glittery sprinkles, and then I also used it on the bear's hat as well. So cupcakes, hats, all the accessories. I used a silver gel pen just to kind of accent the cupcake holders, since those ones are typically like aluminum foil cupcake holders. And then, like, that's, I mean, pretty much the entire card. Got a little shaker here, a little something something. So maybe we'll give this away for one of Peanut's friends' birthdays or something like that. So thank you guys so much for joining me. I am hoping to be back by the end of this week with another video, and I will see you guys then. Bye.